Sage. Sage, has the details.
We're already into the business end of Season 4, and the anti-superhero drama series is still holding the cards close to its chest. After the eventful last few episodes, the stage is all set for an action-packed showdown in the final 2 episodes of the season. Since the show doesn't follow the graphic novels accurately, there's no telling where the story is headed next. But in this video, we'll try to come up with a few reasonable predictions based on everything that's happened so far. There might be a few spoilers along the way, so you have been warned. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
We're not just talking about killing Homelander. We're talking about killing every supe on Earth.
How does the 6th episode set up the climax? Before we head into the predictions of all that can happen in the final 2 episodes of the season, let's take a quick look at how things went down in the previous episode. Butcher's questionable mental state is now out in the open, and it's been officially confirmed that his hallucinations are getting worse. Joe Kessler is simply a fragment of his imagination and a reflection of his own dark side. And now this is trying to convince Butcher to force Samir into creating the deadly supe-killing virus. Meanwhile, the boys infiltrate Tech Knight's high-profile party, and Huey poses as the supe web weaver to sneak in. We get a sneak into Tech Knight's perversions as a helpless Huey is almost violated before Kimiko and Starlight save his dignity. Homelander is furious about the daring attempt by the boys, but he's pacified by Firecracker, who's cracked the code on controlling him. She's used a variety of medications to lactate, and we all know how obsessed Homelander is with this particular beverage. Meanwhile, Sister Sage is still recovering from the bullet to her head, and Victoria Newman finally seems to be supporting Homelander wholeheartedly as she campaigns against Robert Singer and tries to convince the billionaires and powerful people at Tech Knight's party. With the premise all set for a variety of outcomes in the upcoming episodes, let's take a quick look at the possible scenarios. Is Butcher going to succumb to his dark side? What will happen to the supe-killing virus? As of now, we've seen Billy Butcher's obsession to come up with the supe-killing virus that can potentially kill Homelander. For this, he's held Samir captive because he's the one who can come up with the virus once again and make it strong enough to kill the strongest of supes. However, the mission hits a roadblock in the 6th episode when Samir reveals that a virus strong enough to kill Homelander will be deadly and highly contagious in nature. It'll affect anyone with Compound V in their system, and it'll mean that even the likes of Kimiko, Starlight, Ryan, and Samir's own daughter Zoe Newman will be dead. Butcher is caught in a fix after learning about this. On one hand, the hallucinations of his dead wife Becky tell him that he should reconsider and shouldn't sacrifice the lives of hundreds of innocent supes. On the other hand, the part of his mind that cooked up Joe Kessler is trying to convince him to get the job done because this is all he ever wanted. What will he do next? So far, we've seen that Becky has quite an influence on Butcher, and he ends up listening to her suggestions more often than not. Even during his interaction with Ryan, Butcher didn't go ahead with Joe Kessler's plan of drugging and abducting him because Becky wouldn't have wanted something like that. However, things will be more difficult this time because Butcher finally knows that Joe Kessler isn't real and is simply a voice in his head. As of now, we don't think that he'll go ahead with the supe-killing virus, especially because Samir won't be helping him because his own daughter is at stake here. Besides, Butcher's love and concern for Ryan is genuine, and despite his tough stance against the supes, he does have a soft spot for Kimiko and Starlight. We expect him to find another way to get to Homelander, but this is only if he maintains a part of his sanity. On the downside, Butcher can go down insanity lane, just like it happens in the graphic novels where he gets obsessed with the idea of eliminating every single supe on their planet. Something or the other can push him over the edge, and the 5th and final season might be all about a crazy Butcher fighting a maniacal Homelander where both of them are unsafe for humanity. We're eager to find out how the character ends his journey in the show, but we're quite certain that the supe-killing virus is going to be a distant dream for now because Samir is quite determined about not participating in the process.
Hey! Stop! What are you doing?
Get back! Now! I raised this...
Is Tech Knight really dead? The Boys is known for shocking and unexpected deaths of important characters, but rarely do they shy away from showing the deaths on screen. When they do, it's usually to keep the death questionable, and this is what makes us doubt whether Tech Knight really dies in the 6th episode. Starlight and Kimiko teach him a lesson for his perversions by making donations worth millions of dollars to organizations and charities that he hates, and they even extract the secret information from Tech Knight about why Homelander needs him in the first place. However, Tech Knight's butler and sidekick Ladio demand to punish him their own way for all his oppressive acts over the years, and the boys walk out of his dungeon. Now, we're not too sure about the loyalty of his butler, and it might have been an act put up by him to save his life. This Batman and Iron Man parody is quite an entertaining character, and we think it'd be unfair to have him killed so quickly. We secretly expect him to make a comeback, and let's not forget that the show version of Tech Knight has certain superpowers because of Compound V and won't be so easy to kill. If he is back, we can imagine how vengeful he'll be, and expect him to get back at the boys for laundering millions of his wealth.
I once ate a whole bag of candy corns.
What happened to Sister Sage? Is her injury permanent? One of the shocking moments in the last episode comes when Mother's Milk ends up shooting Sister Sage in the head after holding her at gunpoint. He entered Tech Knight's mansion with Starlight and Kimiko after Huey went radio silent, and Sister Sage appeared right in front of him as he searched for the secret hideout. Despite warnings to not move or scream, Sister Sage attempted a sudden movement and shot her in reflex. This caused him a severe anxiety attack, and he even had to be rushed to the hospital. However, Sister Sage suffered a serious head injury and was knocked unconscious. We've learned in this season that Sister Sage has a special regenerative ability that only works for her brain, and as luck would have it, she's shot in the head. Thus, we see her a little while later, but she's completely out of her wits. She behaves like a silly teenager, and it's similar to what we've seen earlier when she performs a self-inflicted lobotomy to relax for a while. Now, the question is whether or not the damage is permanent, and we believe that the silly side of Sister Sage is only temporary. The bullet injury may have been severe, but her brain is capable of recovering from just about anything. Maybe it'll take more time than usual, but you can be sure that a key character like Sister Sage won't be taken out of the game so early. However, we'll also expect her to face some challenges going ahead because Firecracker is not too pleased with her for putting her down for so long, and now she has quite a stronghold on Homelander. Maybe Sage will no longer be Homelander's favorite girl because Firecracker will be the one who keeps him well fed and happy. Has A-Train's plot armor run dry? For the last few prediction videos, we've spoken at length about how time is running out for A-Train ever since he became an active helper for MM and his team. He's managed to avoid direct confrontation with Homelander and Sister Sage, but there have been indications that they do suspect A-Train's involvement in the news leaks that have been taking place. In the previous episode, A-Train bought himself more time by teaming up with a disgruntled Ashley, and they framed Cameron Coleman as the leak. However, in the 6th episode, it becomes clear that Coleman wasn't the leak, and Homelander wonders who passed on the information to the boys about the secret party held by Tech Knight. We believe that Sister Sage already has a clear idea about A-Train's involvement, and she's holding the information back, waiting for the right moment. Currently, she's disoriented after the bullet injury to her brain, but it's only a matter of time before she's back in her own avatar. After that, she might not be too kind to someone who's indirectly responsible for her condition, and A-Train's days are numbered. We're confident that after the character transformation that he's experienced, A-Train will surely get a hero's death and he'll successfully redeem himself for all his past wrongdoings. Don't be surprised if it comes to a point where he sacrifices himself to save others, and we can even see him taking out a couple of Homelander allies in the process. Will Black Noir rebel against Homelander? Ever since Black Noir was killed by Homelander, Fort assigned a suit to slip into the costume so that the masses are not alerted about the loss. However, right from the beginning, the new version of Black Noir isn't too happy with the proceedings. He struggles to find motivation to put up with the role, and he also can't come to terms with how unpredictable and dangerous Homelander is. In the last episode, the Seven head out to Tech Knight's party without Deep and Black Noir, and the latter isn't pleased about being disregarded by the team. Deep offers some valuable advice for him about how he functions in spite of being insulted and pushed around. But something tells us that Black Noir is surviving on thin strings. He's furious about how he's been made to look so insignificant, and we see a vulnerable member of the Seven who can turn out to be a valuable asset for the boys. Don't rule out A-Train finding a new ally among the Seven, and if the time comes, this disgruntled suit wouldn't mind fighting against Homelander as well. Many have observed how Homelander's arrogance and rude behavior will be his undoing, and we can't disagree on that given how he's antagonized so many around him.
Either Sage was lying to you, or she's as useless as tits on a mouse.
What are Firecracker's plans for her future among the Seven? Firecracker is a controversial character who you may like or hate, but you simply can't deny the resilience that keeps her going. She's risen through the ranks from being an insignificant conspiracy theorist to an important member of the Seven, and the host of popular shows produced by Vought. However, Sister Sage, who brought her into the mix in the first place, keeps downplaying her importance, and there have been too many instances where she's been used as bait or openly insulted by Sage and Homelander. In the 6th episode, it's revealed that Firecracker had plans of her own all along, and her strategy to win over Homelander is the perfect one. She used certain medications to induce lactating, and the final moments of the episode show how Homelander's been domesticated by her now that she can breastfeed him. Did Firecracker do all this just for some more importance in the team? We think that she might have bigger plans up her sleeve, and her first focus will be to take the seat of Sister Sage and become Homelander's right-hand man. With Sage disoriented, things might be easy for her, but even if Sage is back to her normal intelligence, Homelander can now be easily manipulated by Firecracker. Also, something tells us that Firecracker isn't purely evil, and when she learns the details about the sinister plans of Homelander and Sage, there's a chance that she'll turn her back on them without second thoughts. Overall, this character's been set up quite nicely, and we're eager to find out more about the fate that awaits her.
Who's handling all this? Me.
What is Victoria Newman up to? So far in Season 4, Victoria Newman has been the most intriguing character. Her workings have been as mysterious as her motives. We've seen her forming alliances with the boys, Butcher, Homelander, and just about anyone who suits her purpose. However, all that changes quite a bit in the 6th episode, when she stands up for Homelander openly at Tech Knight's party. She reiterates the vision of Homelander and convinces the billionaires that the country isn't really a democracy, and how the voices of the masses don't matter. At the same time, she's also smart enough to not trust Homelander blindly, and she'll know the unpredictable nature of the leader of the Seven. The fact that she's freed Stan Edgar is also a well-kept secret, and we don't know what the two are planning on the side. We've reasons to believe that Victoria Newman is also looking for a way to get rid of Homelander, just like the boys, but she realizes that currently she must make peace with the arrogant and twisted Soup because there's no other way. Expect her to change sides at the drop of a hat, and her words mean little because her primary concern is the well-being of her daughter and her family more than anything else. A Soup regime in the US suits her perfectly, but not at the cost of widespread anarchy and violence that'll jeopardize the safety of her loved ones as well.
Just a moment, sir.
Madam, excuse me.
Sure, we'll get to you when we can.
committed murders.
Will Frenchie get out of prison? Honestly, this has been one of the most irritating story arcs this season because, personally, we've grown tired of watching Frenchie struggle with his past. There are bigger problems at hand, and our Frenchman is busy doing drugs and trying to forgive himself. A complete waste of time. Now that he's surrendered himself to the cops, we don't know when he'll be out of the prison, and currently he's not even meeting Kimiko. We expect Kimiko to interact with him in the next episode, and maybe she'll knock some sense into him. The boys can get a pardon for someone like Stan Edgar, and surely they can get Frenchie out of the prison cells if he's eager to rejoin them. We don't think that a character like him will be taken out permanently, and it's only a matter of time before you see him again. It's just that this time-killing narrative could have been avoided entirely to a lot more focus on the main story. Will Ryan end up as the second Homelander? In our previous videos, we've already spoken about how Ryan's been showing certain changes that are a cause of concern for the viewers. In the last episode, we saw him enjoying torture, and the sinister smile on his face during the entire process were ominous signs. Even in the 6th episode, he willingly accompanies Homelander to Tech Knight's party, and it suddenly seems like he's enjoying the uncontrollable power that comes with his position. If things continue to move in the same direction, you can expect him to be a menace to the society and the boys, just like his father. However, Butcher and the boys do have a few secrets up the sleeve to get Ryan to change sides. Firstly, he's yet to know how Homelander forced himself on his mother back in the day, and learning about the sexual assault and abuse of his mother might change things for him. Secondly, Butcher can spend more time with him and talk him out of his illusion of Homelander being a true caregiver. Whatever happens needs to happen soon because things are getting out of hand with each passing episode. This may not have been the best season of The Boys, but the flaws will be forgiven if the final 2 episodes set up the perfect 5th and final season. Don't forget to tell us in the comments below about your thoughts on all of our predictions, and also let us know what according to you will finish off Season 4 in style. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.